Hi, Jean.
How are you?
Say hi to all your fans.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Everybody okay? I love it.
So Jean let me come over for the day. I've been working in the shop with Ian, well, actually documenting in the shop with Ian,
Yeah.
and I learned that metalworking is quite the art, and
Good.
I've never um, spent any time in the shop with him, and I did not realize that all the hammering was shaping metal. I didn't realize that there's like an art to it. And so I just wanted to come over and ask you some questions about your metalworking, kind of
Sure.
what got you into it.
I can go pound on some metal, and I might even show you a little more.
Really?
Yes, I might.
So when did you move out here to the Mojave Desert?
Oh, gosh, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, maybe.
Yeah. And what's your most favorite thing about living out here?
The sun,
Right?
beautiful sun. I like it. And, here I am sitting out in the front of my house in the sun.
Right. With
So,
in good company.
yeah, that's right.
Yep.
And
Um,
I'm so glad you came by.
I'm glad you let me come over because honestly, this is my first real interview for our YouTube. And I'm loving doing this YouTube because it's giving me a creative outlet that I didn't even know that I
Yeah,
needed. And so
sure.
I find that this is a way for me to
You're
fill
you're
that
starting
creative.
all over.
I am,
Starting all
yeah.
over, and
Yes,
it's
sir.
beautiful. Very nice.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so much happier now.
That's great.
Yeah, I really, really am.
That's
So,
fabulous.
so yeah. So, what was the first car you built?
First car I built, a Model A coupe, and when I first got it, I didn't hardly know what to do with it, and I saw a few pictures, and so I started, molded off a 32 grill and put on it, and then I had solid hood sides, and just little by little, I kept. And I changed the bumpers probably 5 times. Kept putting on different bumpers and things like that because I didn't know what to do really, but I wanted to create, and that's what I was doing. I was just making things different because it was different,
Right.
and that's what I've been doing all my life. Make things different.
So
So
one thing I noticed in the comments and the car show that we just went out to in Ridgecrest is a lot of young people are watching our channel, like, really young kids, like teenagers
yes.
and little kids. So what would you like say to them as far as like, or to anybody that wants to like start customizing cars?
Well, I like teaching young people, and I do that a lot. I show them the basic things and how to get started and everything, and I think that's great. So that's part of my life. I like to teach young people.
Yeah, it's so important. And I was explaining to my daughter about this art form and how basically, how old were you when you started customizing cars?
Oh, I was 15.
So that was what, in 19
Uh,
something something.
yeah, '02.
And a lot of folks weren't doing that then.
Right. Not very many people were doing it, but I had a couple of people in Sacramento that I was watching, and I kind of learned some stuff from them. Dick Bertolucci was one, and then oh, I forget the other guy. But anyway, and so I learned a lot just by watching them, and then I've continued that, and now I'm teaching young people all the time everywhere I go.
Yeah. And what made you realize that like this was going to be the life for you? Like when you're like, this is going to be how I am going to exist on this earth.
I like to create things that are different and make things look cool, and so I've started doing that very young, and I never stopped. I'm still doing it all my life, and I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
And
I really had no idea the art that goes behind it. So basically you observed other builders at the time that were working with metal and
yes,
then you taught yourself and you gave it your own
that's right. And
twist.
now I teach everybody. I
That's
teach
so
all kinds of young
cool.
people all the time, and I like to do that. And I'm going to keep spreading the knowledge as much as I can.
Right. And then when did you get into painting, or like were you, the whole Winfield fade? Like I know
Well,
about that, but how did
I
that
made
evolve?
I made some models of cars, and I took them to a body shop to have this guy paint it. So I watched him paint it and spray it, and so I said, well, I can do that. So I went and bought a spray gun, and I started painting.
So then you just started painting, and then did it come naturally to you?
Yes, it just worked out beautiful, and I learned how to blend and everything on model cars, and then I started doing it on a real car,
Mm.
full complete. I had a guy brought me a brand new Chevy, 55 or so, brand new Chevy. He just bought it. It had 11 miles on it,
Oh wow.
and he brought it to me, and I customized it. I molded off the hood and the trunk, and done a few things like that, and then I had to spot paint it, to make it look right. And so that was part of my learning and getting started, and I've been doing it ever since.
That's awesome. So I have a question. Well, I have a lot of questions still, but what is your favorite color?
My favorite car?
Color.
Oh, color. Oh, probably purple.
Purple. Yeah.
Purple. And
And
I do a lot with blues and greens and gold. Gold is probably my next popular one.
yeah, the world can't have enough gold in it. I agree.
I like a lot of gold. Yeah, that's good.
So, I know there's a famous car painting, what is it, the Jade car?
Jade Idol.
The Jade Idol. So
Jade Idol.
will you tell me a little bit about that car?
The customer brought me the car, and he says, I'm going to give you $1,000, and you can do anything you want to this car. Totally up to you. So I ended up putting 1,500 in it. So I put 500 of my own in it because I wanted to do certain things, and I kept changing and modifying, putting grills and different things in it, and so that's what I did, and I just loved it, and it became very famous, and it still is today. Called the Jade Idol.
So beautiful. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it in person. I think Daryl had one in his museum, or replica of it.
Yes.
Right? And I saw the replica a few years ago when Ian and I were out there. But you didn't paint that one, did you?
Yeah.
You did paint that one? Okay, so I did technically see it.
I think I did. And so the real one is in Oregon. It's in Oregon, and the guy's taking good care of it. In fact, he's trying to put together a little museum in Oregon right now. So he has two Barris cars and mine and a few other cars. So he's going to put together a nice little museum up there in Oregon.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice.
So what would you say your favorite car is?
My favorite car that I have built is the Jade Idol.
Wow.
The Jade Idol, a '56 Merc, and that was it's given me more notoriety than any other car that I did anyway, and I love it, and it's very, very nice car.
Cool. Well, would you mind giving me a little tour of your shop?
Sure.
Or anything you want to show me here
no problem.
that you think people would be interested in? Because I've taken a tour of your house. I have seen the pinball machine. I'd like to get if it's okay, if I even get a still of it.
Yeah,
but
no problem. We can go in the house again.
I wouldn't mind walking around with you a little bit and just you showing me some things. Is that cool?
Okay.
All right.
Come on over. All right, roll film.
You got us?
Yeah. Here we go.
Here we go. So, Gene.
Yes.
So your shop, Ian's shop is not quite as much, but do you have everything like in specific areas? Like, how do you organize your shop?
Well, yeah, I've got certain tools in different places, and of course, I have a certain amount of tools outside. You know, how you doing? I don't have enough room in the shop, so I have some tools outside. You know, and so it's such good weather here that I can work outside a lot.
Right. Hi, Kitty. Got all kinds of pets here.
Yeah, not mine. Let me show you some of this equipment here. This is a 4-foot brake for bending metal, and I have one special chunk of steel in the center, and usually it has little individual pieces, you know, but it's a 4-foot brake, and then this is a foot shear for cutting metal. We stomp on that bar there, and it cuts sheet metal. And this is a power brake that I made. I found this blade in a scrapyard. This blade in a scrapyard, and I paid, I don't know, $10 or $15 for it. And then I built the whole machine around this blade. Right
Oh,
here.
wow.
And
So this is a fully custom machine that you made?
Yeah, I built the whole thing, everything.
Wow.
And put it power, and so I bend sheet metal with it. And I have a foot control valve and so forth. And
wow.
This is a screw press, what they call a screw press. You turn this big thing here, and it goes up and down like that. You can punch holes in metal and put whatever dies in here you want, and so it'll bend metal or cut metal, whatever you want. And this is two little Beverly shears for squeezes metal. You put the metal in here and it just squeezes it, and by that it changes the shape. You can shape it with it and various things like that. This is a table saw, a big old table saw. For rolling metal, put tubing in there.
Is that like a tubing bender?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Round or square metal, and I put it through there, and you put pressure with this. You screw that thing down, and you just keep bending metal with it like that. It's a big table, 14 feet long, and it's 1 inch thick.
Yeah.
The metal in the table. And this is a power hammer that I'm putting together. I'm using it, but it's not quite finished, but it works. And so I pound metal with that. It has big 3-inch dies. It really pounds.
You got it?
There we go. So this is a wheeling machine, and I made this. I bought this riveter from Lockheed in their surplus store, and I lengthened it, made it longer, and made it into a wheeling machine. So we tighten this up like this, and you roll metal.
Wow.
You roll metal in between there, and it puts a shape into it. It starts squeezing the metal as you roll it, and you can cross roll it and do different things. And I have different. When I first did it, I only had two rollers, the flat one, and then this extreme large one here. And then somebody made this for me, and so now I have 3 different rollers, and so we just roll the metal in there. I'll show you how it works.
So you've modified a lot of your own machinery to get the shapes and things that you wanted.
Yeah, see this is a shrinker stretcher, a foot control shrinker stretcher, so it has different dies in the shrinker.
Yeah, because I didn't know that you could stretch and shrink metal. I really didn't.
You can put metal through there. We got a little piece of angled sheet metal. See if you can find one or make one.
I don't think I've ever been in this room, and if I had been, I didn't know what I was looking at.
Yeah. This is an English wheel, and this one's made in England. This one's made in England, and
oh wow!
So you tighten it up by this thing on the bottom. You move that to tighten it, and it puts pressure in and you roll metal. So this is the same as this machine here. It's a rolling machine.
Here, we'll move out this way so he can do his thing.
All right, so can we cut a piece of this, please? And I can put it in here. put it in here and stretch it. By stretching the metal on this one side, it puts it into a curve. See, it just starts a slight curve in there.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you can see that.
And then this one over here, we shrink it.
Got it.
See it curving it the other way.
Oh, wow.
See, starts curving it this way.
Oh, okay. So that's how you get like the gentle lines like on the
Yeah.
cars.
Right. So when we start to build a car or a body, we'll use heavier metal, and I'll make a bunch of angles like this, and then you put them in the doors, and you curve it. You curve it to whatever shape you need, and then you work the sheet metal around it. So after you put the angle in there as a brace to hold it, then the sheet metal would come around here, and you bend the lip of the sheet metal around this flange, and you don't have to weld it.
Oh,
Just
okay.
bend it around there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's how we do it.
Nice.
And these are wood
Hold
patterns.
on 1 second. Let's let the train finish
Yeah, that's a
passing.
train go by.
There we go.
These are wood patterns, which we make up, and then we bend sheet metal around them. We put that together and make what we call an egg crate buck, and it's put together
Yeah, there you go.
sort of
Good
like
space.
this. And it's an egg crate buck, and then we work sheet metal and fit it to that buck.
Mhm.
And that's how we make a body. So it's interesting.
That's so fascinating to
Yeah.
me.
I'll get another piece of metal. We'll put it through the wheel.
Okay.
This one we've already put some curve to it
Here,
on
let me
the
get
sides,
this.
but we can go through here like this and just roll the metal back and forth, and then tighten it up just a little bit. Tighten it a little bit more. I usually use gloves to do this, but so it's picking up a little bit of curve in the middle, just a slight bit of curve through the center here. And then if I want to curve it more, I'll shrink this edge. You see how it's starting to curve the metal.
Oh, wow.
See? Now if I do it over here a little more, it'll show up faster by putting it on both sides. See it curve?
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Starting to curve the metal. Go back to this side a little bit. See? Curving it
Oh my gosh.
more and more. So that's how we shape metal.
Very
various.
cool. So, Jean, I heard someone told me, a friend of yours, a good friend, told me that you have a metal shaping class coming up. Can we
That's
talk about
true.
that?
Yeah, I do them here probably twice a year at my shop, and then I do them in various parts of the country. But my shop here, my class was April 1 and 2. Yeah, April 1 and 2, and it's a Saturday and Sunday, and I have students come from all over.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them come from Europe, but all over U.S.
Mm-hmm.
They'll come from Texas and Oklahoma and all over like that. And so I teach them as much as I can in 2 days. I
Awesome.
lay it on them. Lay it
Wow.
on them.
And I'm assuming that it's not filled up,
No,
so there's
right.
still spots.
Right now I have a few spots.
Okay.
Teach everybody I can,
Right.
and especially the young people. I love to teach the young people that are interested. You
Yeah.
know, a certain number of them, they seem interested, but they're not really not. They're just passing time. And then you maybe 2 out of 6 might be really interested,
Mm-hmm.
and those are the ones that I really teach it and lay it on them.
Right. Yeah, those are the ones that you
Yes.
end up
And
inspiring
they're
the
going to do
most.
something in life with metal. You know?
That's so cool. And they learned from you, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Sweet.
All right.
Hey,
Pullmax
Jimmy.
machine. This machine is made in Sweden, and I had it shipped over here, and we make different dyes for it. All these are different dyes right here, and you make a male and female dye, and so that it'll. You see, you put them in the machine, and then it pounds metal like this. So
Oh, wow.
it'll pound metal into that shape right there. So we have all these different shapes that we see. There's all kinds of different shapes that we use, and so that's how we shape metal,
Neato.
just like that. And these are air-operated machines that pound metal. This one right here, you put the metal in here, and just you slide the metal in and back and forth like this, like that, and it pounds the metal. And you put different dyes in here, and then you get different shapes. So these are all 3 different machines for pounding metal in between there.
What machine would you say you use the most?
Beverly Shear. This is a Beverly Shear. That's the actual name on it, Beverly Shear. And they make these in 3 different sizes. They have a B1, a B2, and a B3. This is a B2, so it's a medium size, and we cut metal with it.
So if somebody were to like start outfitting their shop and they're going to start getting equipment, what would you say?
Well,
like,
this is one of the first things that you should buy, because you can trim metal and cut it in all different shapes. You see how I turn it and cut curves and things like that. So you can cut all kinds of metal with them, and you can just, it's just a great piece of equipment to have. So that would be one of the first things, and then one of the first things would be a sandbag. You get a sandbag, and you pound metal into the bag, and you pound it with mallets and different hammers, and you shape it, you rough it into the bag, and then you take it out of there and run it through the wheel and smooth out the bumps that you put in it with the hammer. So you can smooth it out that way.
so you'd say like a Beverly Shear, a sandbag, and like a wheel.
Yeah.
To start out your shop.
Yeah. This is a flathead motor, what we call a flathead motor. It's a late model of 51 up, 51, 2, 3, 4, and it's three carburetors on a flathead motor. And yeah, this is my louver. I made a louver machine, and I put a slight peak in the louver. Mine is the only one in the country that has a slight peak in the louver as it comes up. most of them are just flat on top.
Very
So that's
cool.
my machine, and that's louvers that I punch with my machine. So everybody has to have some louvers.
Yeah. I
These,
had no idea. They're so cool.
these are wheeling machines that bead rollers and things that we roll metal in the end right here for different shapes, and we put steering wheels on here. Usually they just have a hand crank, but on a hand crank you get up here to a certain place and the guy automatically stops for some reason. He can't make a complete circle with that handle, so I put steering wheels on them so we can get a complete circle.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so I have several of these that we put different dies on here, and then we have one over here with a motor on it. It's a power operated bead roller. This one right back here, and it has a motor.
Do you
on
prefer the manual one to
it's
the power?
Just different operations,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And this is a big notch cutting machine. It cuts square notches like that. And we have bead rollers that roll these different beads. Like
Oh,
this.
wow.
You can
So
shape.
what would you do that for? Like to make that shape? Like what would
Well,
that?
we do that as a stiffening process to stiffen up the metal. We give it strength by putting beads in there.
Oh.
And so this is the shape here, and then this is one for strength. And then I have a big spot welder over there and all kinds of different tools. I have so many tools I have to cram them in here. So then we will pull them out as I need them. You know, I can pull them out and use different ones. So it works out fine, no problem. This is a little lathe, metalworking lathe here, and then I have a big one in there. I have a 15-foot lathe in there, and here's my my sander over here.
Wow.
It's a 36-inch sander.
Oh. Wow. He's looking for something to sand. That was cool.
It gets with the program.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets with the program. All right.
What's next, Gene?
Well, let's go next door. This is some of Jimmy's stuff in here, and a lot of storage.
I know, I'm like walking slowly because I want to not trip.
How are we doing?
We're doing okay. How about you? Pounding metal as usual.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy, how you doing?
Good,
So,
good.
Let's see what he's doing here. So apparently he put in a little break on the sheet metal break. Now he's taking it out. You're flattening it out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead and pound a little bit there. Now, let's see what you're pounding on. Ah, see, I have 2 inches, 2-inch steel,
He said, ah.
2-inch steel plate, and I have a couple of these around the shop, and we pound metal on top of here, and we have different dollies and body hammers, different shapes, you know, curved. This one's curved the opposite direction, so it's made for curving metal on here, and so on and so forth. This is a dead blow. It's a plastic hammer, but it has lead and it has weight inside.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's very heavy, and you pound metal with it to do the basic shapes with it, and then you finish it out with different tools. This is a Lincoln that we're doing some body work on. We changed the headlights and did a grill opening and things like that. We have another workstation here, and then this is my my sandbag. I put it in a plow disc, a disc from a farmer, you know, a plow disc. So
Oh, okay.
it nests the bag in there very nicely, and it doesn't matter whether it's a square bag or a round bag. And then these tools here I made for pounding metal. I made 80% of them I made myself, and I found these are part of a ball bearing that I found at a junk shop, and I cut them and welded them into a stake here, and then I can put them into deals where it's, you know, this is a stake plate. This one right here is called a stake plate, and it has all different shapes and sizes, and so these are stakes that go in there, and then we pound metal over them. So then I made, like I say, 80% of these. These are T-dollies, called T-dollies, things like that. And so we put them in here, and I pound metal in all kinds of shapes.
So what I'm gathering is like to tell people, like, if they want tools, they can make their own tools.
That's right. I made 80% of those, and this is a big. Well, here's an anvil that I made out of a railroad rail. See, railroad rail, and I torched it and torched the shape into it and ground it for hours and hours, and now I have a nice sharp point and a rounded end on this end, so I can pound metal on here.
Very
and
cool.
Then over here, this is a pipe anvil, what I call my pipe anvil. So I have 3 different size pipes on here. This one's solid, but these are pipes, and so I put metal in here and bend it by hand. Let me see if I can find a piece of metal and show you. I take a piece of metal and I put it in here, slide it in here by hand, and then I just bend it by hand like this.
Oh, wow.
You see, so I can get different shapes by bending it like that. Or if I want this bigger one, I bend it this way, so I get different shapes, and I can play with it and just bend it part way and do.
So what would you make shapes on this for?
Well, you want curves. You want to pick up a curve, and it's hard for you to take and pound it. So I put this in there like that, and then just bend it by hand and pick up. Pick up any
Wow.
curve that I want, and if I get too much, I can take a little out like this. Just kind of work it a little bit by hand. So you can put it in or take it out with that curve like that. And you want to put it on the big one.
Wow.
Any curve I want, I can do it with this machine.
And you made this one?
Yeah, I made it. Welded it up. I have different size pipes to put on here. There's two more size pipes that I can bolt on here, but I don't usually ever have to use those because you can just bend a little bit as you need to. You just bend a little bit as you need to. There's basically 2 things you do with the metal. You put strength in it by bending it and putting some shape in it, and then you put shape or design by bending it and pounding it or whatever, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you form it into a new shape, change it from a flat piece to a design, and that's all part of the operation.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
When I met Ian, I knew nothing about car culture. And so, you know, over the past 3 years that we've been married, I've really realized just how incredible and important it is.
Yeah, sure.
It's really an important art
Yeah.
of American culture.
You bet it is.
And
It's
you
true.
have been in it for since what, 1940,
Yeah.
something
In the
like
40s.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the when you race on the salt flats.
Yeah, I like to race all kinds of things. You know, I've done jalopy racing, and I've done dry lakes and Bonneville and all that, and I love it. I like to go fast, and so my first time I was getting ready to go to El Mirage, very first time I had a roadster, and I took it to SoCal Speed Shop, and the mechanic and fabricator was Don Spencer. He was a fabulous fabricator, and he showed me a few things, and then he told me how to set up the car. He told me what tire pressure to use and what jets and different things like that, and so I asked him, and I never had ran the lakes before at all. And I asked him, I said, well, with my gear ratio and so forth, how fast do you think I'll go? He said, oh, you should go 120. And I, you know, I wanted to go 110 or anything over 100 would be nice, you know. So I went out there and I turned 122.
Wow.
Very first time, and I was so thrilled with that. It was just
I
great.
bet. And you were hooked then, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And so
That's very cool.
I keep going back.
And what year would you say that was?
Oh, that was in the 40s. Yeah.
When there was nothing out here.
Yeah, there was a few cars, but a few people would come from LA out to the lakes, you know, and they were almost all from LA area, different cities in LA, and so I was in Modesto, California, and so I was a long ways from home, you know, but I went out there and I just had a ball. And
Yeah.
now I teach it, and I go out there quite often, and I love it. It's
Very
great.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great experience.
Super neat. Everybody, how is Gene? From Gene himself.
Well, I'm wonderful. I'm getting along great. I just love it. I love life, and I love teaching young people. And so that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, is keep teaching and having fun.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what you told me when I called you the other day to ask you about coming over. And I said, I'm having so much fun with this. And you said, yes, have fun.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to smile and have fun.
Exactly. That's really what life is about, is, you know, following your passions,
Right.
your dreams. All right, Gene. So what are we going to go do next?
Well, we're going to go in my house for a minute and show you my pinball machine.
Yes. And I heard you got a Star Trek room in there.
I do. So come on in.
Okay.
A mess, but people keep bringing me stuff all the time. You know, somebody just brought me this hat. You know, it's very novel. Look at that.
That is very novel.
And on and on. So
I bet people give you a lot of things.
yeah, cash register, and this is this tool here. You put the saw in here and you sharpen it. You sharpen your saw. See, it's upside down right now, but you turn it over and you bring your teeth up in here, and then you file it with little files, and you sharpen your file or your saw with a file right here. That's what that is. So come on in. This is my guest book. I want everybody to sign the guest book. And these are models. Some of these have my picture on the box and my name on the box. This one has my picture here. And
Check you out.
and then they brought it out a couple years ago, and they put my same picture on the box. This was in.
It's still you.
This was in '64. something like that. So anyway, that was my car. That happens to be my sedan delivery right there. And there's various models and whatnot. And this is my Wurlitzer. And then come on in here.
Oh, I forgot about this room.
Yeah.
Look at this.
My little diner. I made these stools. I made these out of Ford axle housings. And my mother bought this machine in the 40s. It still works for milkshakes. And cash register here in 1926. And so on. Just have a ball in here.
It's a cool fridge.
Yeah, nice fridge. I'm gonna have a sign made up here and have it modernized and explaining what I'm doing and so forth. This is a wood mock-up of the Jade Idol. And the Jade Idol was a very important car that I built back in the day. And so we laminated a bunch of wood together and then carved this out.
Very neat.
So come on in here. Over here I have a Hot Wheels collection, but this is all the same car.
Oh, wow.
All those are the same car in different shapes, different colors, different configurations, and they keep putting it out. They still bring it out today in different configurations or different places or whatever. See, some of this is Hot Wheels and cop rods for police, and on. Fire.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's a neat
great.
sign you got there.
Yeah, and this is my logo. I created that in the Army in the 40s, and I came home, and so I made that. That's my logo that I use on almost everything now.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Even if it doesn't have your name in it, like
Right.
now you know when you see that shape that
Yeah.
that's yours.
That's true.
And that's so cool. So
You see.
you created that in the 40s.
Yeah. This is a wood mock-up that I had on a pickup truck right there, and then later I made them out of stainless for another truck.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's a Harley engine clock.
Very
Friend
cool.
of mine made those.
I love this. Praise the Lord.
And this is a Winfield guitar, and this one I made for Billy Gibbons.
Oh, that's gold, like we talked
Yeah.
about.
And it's got louvers, and the louvers light up, and it has my logo in the center.
Oh, neat. Oh, yeah. Very cool. Wow. There's so many talented people in this world. It just like blows my mind sometimes.
So anyway.
Yeah. All your memories.
Yeah, with people I met, so forth. Christmas tree ornaments. My ship I made for Star Trek up there. You push a button and Spock's voice says "Happy Holidays." And this is a window frame that I made here, and this Star Trek
Galileo.
Galileo. Yeah.
So you drew this up?
Yeah, that's my actual drawing right there.
Wow.
And then I made it up. Here's the construction of it here in various stages, making the frame and whatnot, and putting the skin on and so forth. And the finished project here.
Very cool.
Some more Star Trek stuff here and whatnot. This is a door from an early airplane lavatory. To the Winfield family, Kelly Johnson.
Wow. Very neat. And that was your father-in-law?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah, totally.
Out of an airplane.
That's neat. So it's out of an airplane?
Yeah, this guides the airplane.
Oh,
It's
wow.
a gyro that helps guide the
I always kind of wondered where that word came from. Now I know. And so that's the reactor there. It's very cool.
This is, I have a guy in France that makes something every year when he comes over here. One year he brought me these plates. Another year he brought me the clock. And then last year he brought me these two units here with my, and they light up around the edge.
Oh, wow.
They
So
light up,
neat.
and they're just beautiful. The construction.
Wow.
It's
Very
gorgeous.
cool. It
Very
is gorgeous. I love how you have like such a following from like all over the world.
Yeah, yeah. People bring me bicycles and crazy stuff. Young lady. On and on. Racing engines, flathead racing engine with a special magneto on the front there. And on and on.
And on and on. A lifetime of
This is-
memories, huh?
These carburetors are for gasoline, and those up there, those four are for alcohol. They have double jets and all kinds of crazy stuff in there. Yeah, well, this is a tonneau cover, and it has a tailgate that opens up, and it's a bed to sleep in.
Very cool. Oh, wow.
Yeah, these are all kinds of friends of mine.
Look at you, 1950.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is.
Very neat. Well, Jean, why don't you show me the pinball machine and I'll get out of your hair.
Okay, no problem.
I appreciate you giving me some of your time today. I'm a huge pinball fanatic, so.
I made this for a friend of mine in Spain. I was in France, and I made it in France and took it to Spain for him. And then I liked it so much, he crated it up and shipped it overnight to me for my birthday.
Oh, wow.
It cost him $2,000 to ship it here for my birthday. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, it's really, really neat.
It's just very nice. Wendy's games and my roadster. I went over 207 times, and then my coupe, 135 with my coupe.
Oh, so that's what the numbers mean,
Yeah.
is how fast you went in
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
Roadster.
Miles per hour.
Very cool.
And here I am here in a dragster with a crazy roll bar that isn't even high enough for my head. But most of them didn't even have a roll bar.
Well, thanks, Jean.
Having fun.
Yeah.
There's a little wall hanging. I make these and sell them.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
saw on your Instagram that you're doing these, you're painting these and making them for folks.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah,
they
I'm
still
painting
for
a bunch
you?
of them in
Awesome.
Boy.
Yeah, that's an iconic LA thing.
Yeah. And that's the clock the guy made for me for my birthday, and then the same guy made these two panels here, gave them to me on a different birthday.
So awesome.
Ship in a bottle. I don't know how they do that. These model kits here, these are all cars that I built. All of these were cars that I built, and they're actual duplicates. Two brothers in Connecticut or somewhere back there, they made these for me each year. Every one of those is a different year that they made it for me. It's just fabulous.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll make our way out here.
Yeah, I want to get a couple pictures with you
Okay.
out in the nice sunshine.
All right, I'm gonna turn the light out over here.
Okay, we'll meet you outside. This
Okay,
way,
I'll
right?
see you out there.